Too hard.
Does he look like a card punch?
And that's the thing. And now going with two hands is a big difference.
Let me tell you, if it's anywhere clean on your torso or your chin, I don't care if you're 40 stone, 6'10", you're going to sleep. He can hit. Don't you worry about that. Well, you're here witnessing it. Does he look like a card punch?
I'm not meeting with the public today.
Just forget the public. They're not in here. Any of the public think Tommy can't punch. Come and spar with him. But make sure you get a good tin hat on when you come. Just rubbish.
Yeah, right.
Tommy can't punch. See if he can't punch. We need to say, I'll give you all the shit. You don't wake up support. When he boxes Tommy, Eddie Hall won't want to fight no more.
You're saying it'll be one done for Eddie Hall?
That'll be it. He won't want to fight him no more.
He can get one back to you. After Eddie Hall's disrespectful words towards you, Tommy will get that.
Hold about Eddie Hall. I've fought all my life. He's on about being the beast. I'm the real beast. Tried and tested my fights all my life. How many fights has he had? Come on.
Pretty much.
You've got to have that autology.
You can't stay at home and do the training. Impossible. It's not be yourself, it's not doing anything like that, it's just my job.
Can you get my phone?
It's like other people go to the office. That's the office. It's only a couple of times a year, so you got to sacrifice everything.
You're so fit though, aren't you? Incredible.
Never been as fit as this my entire life.
They're not in here. Any of the public think Tommy can't punch. Come and spar with him. But make sure you get a good chin out on the floor.
The airport confrontation has completely exploded across the boxing world, and now Tommy Fury is stepping in with a serious warning for Eddie Hall. John Fury clearly looked fired up during the chaos, but Tommy seems fully locked in and ready to prove that Eddie has dragged himself into a fight he seriously underestimated.
Call paramedics!
Of Eddie Hall's beef for your dad.
Yeah.
Is that true then, and what happened there?
No, it genuinely is true, and a lot of people can have their comments on it, but that's the reason why I'm standing here right now. Eddie and my dad have had World War III over the phone or whatever they've had. I've heard about it. Yeah, oh God. Well, I was a bit surprised, to be honest. Obviously, I've done videos with Eddie.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hall opened up on what really sparked the heated confrontation with John Fury, claiming the Fury family talk big but never back it up calmly. However, Tommy Fury now looks determined to answer that challenge himself and prove Eddie has bitten off far more than he can chew stepping into a boxing ring with a trained fighter.
So he's short, he just basically blew his lid and said I couldn't beat any of the Furies. And I called his bluff. I just said, well, you're all full of shit. You're all, you're taught the talk. You walk around headbutting people, punching walls, put your money where you...
Tommy Fury made it crystal clear that Eddie Hall's raw strength means absolutely nothing once the bell rings. Tommy believes boxing is all about timing, movement, ring IQ and experience, not lifting trucks or winning strongman titles. The Fury star sounded extremely confident here and almost looked amused by the idea that Eddie can simply walk through him with power alone. Tommy clearly wants to expose the massive difference between being physically strong and actually knowing how to fight professionally.
If strongmen, being the strongest man in the world and picking up half a ton, meant you was the best fighter of all, everyone would be a world champion, wouldn't they? If being big and strong meant you could fight, everyone would be a world champion. But in this game, it's not about how much weight you can lift. It's not about how strong you are. There's a ton more things to the fight game. And that's what I'm looking to show Eddie on the night.
Eddie Hall continued firing shots at the Fury family and accused them of hiding behind tough talk instead of real action. The former world's strongest man sounded genuinely frustrated while recalling the airport confrontation and clearly feels this fight became personal long before contracts were signed. But Tommy Fury now has the perfect chance to silence all the criticism inside the ring, and many fans believe Eddie may regret pushing things this far against an actual boxer with years of experience.
And I was just so fed up. I was trying to get in nowhere with these guys. I'm like, look, you talk the talk. You fucking walk around headbutting and smacking people and punching windows and whatever else. I said, well, why don't you guys fucking put your money where your mouth is for once and fucking do something?
John Fury doubled down after the confrontation and warned Eddie Hall that Tommy Fury is going to be far more dangerous than he expects. Despite Eddie's huge size advantage, John insisted Tommy's speed and explosive punching will completely overwhelm him once the fight starts. John also mocked Eddie over the shorter rounds, suggesting the strongman already knows he cannot survive a proper boxing pace. The Fury camp clearly believe Eddie's confidence will disappear very quickly when Tommy starts landing clean shots. John Fury doubled down after the confrontation and warned Eddie Hall that Tommy Fury is going to be far more dangerous than he expects. Despite Eddie's huge size advantage, John insisted Tommy's speed and explosive punching will completely overwhelm him once the fight starts. John also mocked Eddie over the shorter rounds, suggesting the strongman already knows he cannot survive a proper boxing pace. The Fury camp clearly believe Eddie's confidence will disappear very quickly when Tommy starts landing clean shots.
Tommy's going to do the chinning with him, as you've seen today. Eddie Hall, when Tommy's fought him, he don't know what to fight again. He don't know what he's in for. He thinks because Tommy's small, Tommy's like a pocket rocket, isn't he, compared to him? And I got that body belt on, I'm feeling the power. He can't take that. That's why he wants to do 2-minute rounds, isn't it?
Interestingly, Eddie Hall actually admitted Tommy Fury holds almost every technical advantage going into this fight, from speed and movement to cardio and ring IQ. But despite respecting Tommy's boxing ability, Eddie still believes one massive punch can change everything instantly. That confidence in his power is clearly the biggest weapon keeping him mentally dangerous. Still, many boxing fans feel Tommy Fury's experience and discipline should be enough to avoid the chaos and slowly break Eddie down over the rounds.
The skill level is going to be night and day. You know, he is definitely going to be the better IQ. He's going to be the better footwork, the better speed, the better cardio. He's going to have so many advantages in that respect. What he hasn't got is that knockout power, and I have got that. You know, if I catch you on that chin, you're going to sleep.
Meanwhile, boxing analyst Wade Plemons gave a brutally honest breakdown of Eddie Hall's chances and did not sound impressed by the recent sparring footage at all. According to Wade, Eddie is relying far too much on throwing wild power shots without understanding distance, rhythm or timing inside a boxing ring. He believes Eddie's only realistic path to victory is landing one perfect right hand before exhausting himself. That is exactly why Tommy Fury enters this fight with huge confidence, because technically the gap between them looks massive, and Tommy's movement could completely frustrate Eddie over the rounds.
Just pull off a miracle right hand. What I'm seeing makes me even more skeptical that that's possible, because he doesn't understand space and distance, he doesn't understand timing and rhythm, he doesn't understand how valuable his right hand is. And it seems like I'm being counterintuitive because all he's throwing is right hands, but he needs to value that thing. It needs to be, like I said, a weapon of mass destruction. You only bring it out at certain points so Tommy doesn't get a read on it, and also so you don't gash your...
Eddie Hall then turned his attention back toward John Fury and questioned whether John's explosive temper could actually become a problem for the Fury camp. Eddie acknowledged that John's aggressive mentality can motivate fighters, but he also reminded everyone about John Fury's troubled past and history of losing control in heated situations. The airport clash only added more fuel to that narrative. Still, many Tommy Fury supporters believe Tommy himself remains far calmer and more disciplined than people give him credit for, especially compared to the emotional chaos surrounding this rivalry right now.
But yeah, he's very hot-headed, which I think is a good thing for him, but also a bad thing for him. You know, the guy's done time for being hot-headed.
John Fury sounded completely convinced that Eddie Hall has underestimated what Tommy Fury can actually do inside the ring. While Eddie may have the size and raw strength advantage, John insisted Tommy's speed, sharp combinations and movement will make him almost impossible to hit cleanly. He also gave Eddie some respect for accepting the challenge despite not being a professional fighter, but at the same time warned that blindly swinging for knockouts will only play into Tommy's hands. The Fury camp clearly expect Tommy to outbox Eddie comfortably and expose the difference between a trained boxer and a strongman entering unfamiliar territory.
You don't know what he's in for. He thinks because Tommy's small, Tommy's like a pocket rocket, isn't he, compared to him? And I got that body belt on, I'm feeling the power. He can't take that. That's why he wants to do 2-minute rounds, isn't it? He can't do the 3. You know, I can't blame him. You've got to give Eddie all props because he's not a fighter. He's going to get in with Tommy knowing full well what can happen to him. And the only thing he's going to try and do is swing, but he'll only be able to hit.
Tommy Fury finally explained how this entire fight really started and made it clear the personal tension was originally between Eddie Hall and John Fury. Tommy admitted he stepped into the situation mainly to defend his family name after Eddie started taking shots at the Furies publicly. At the same time, Tommy also reminded everyone that Tyson Fury operates on a completely different level, meaning Eddie was never getting near him in the first place. But now that Eddie asked for a Fury, Tommy seems fully motivated to punish him for disrespecting the family and turning this rivalry personal.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the real beef is between Eddie and my dad. You know, that's genuinely what has happened here. I'm only doing this fight because of my dad. So the real beef is between Eddie and my dad, and I'm obviously just stepping up to the plate. Tyson's on a different stratosphere. Basically, Eddie was having a pop between all the Furies. You know, he wanted to fight with a Fury.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn reacted to the airport confrontation by admitting the situation clearly crossed the line, especially once blood was involved. However, Hearn also acknowledged that controversy like this always drags more attention toward a fight, particularly in modern boxing where drama often sells just as much as skill. Even though many fans criticized John Fury's behavior, the clash has massively increased curiosity around Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall. Suddenly what looked like a strange crossover fight now feels personal, emotional, and unpredictable, which is exactly why the boxing world keeps talking about it non-stop.
I mean, listen, it's boxing, it's family. John's John. Both goading each other. Both very personal. Both means a lot to everybody. Shouldn't have done it, but it's done.
Simon Jordan did not hold back whatsoever while reacting to John Fury's airport confrontation with Eddie Hall and absolutely blasted the behavior as embarrassing and unacceptable. Jordan brought up John Fury's controversial history and basically argued that moments like this are sadly not surprising anymore when emotions boil over around the Fury family. Still, despite all the criticism, the confrontation has created even more attention around Tommy Fury's fight with Eddie Hall because fans now feel genuine bad blood involved. Tommy himself seems determined to separate his boxing career from the chaos surrounding his father and prove he can settle everything properly inside the ring instead of through out-of-control confrontations at airports and public places. Many supporters now believe Tommy Fury carries the real responsibility of restoring some professionalism to the situation by dominating Eddie Hall on fight night.
No, not really. It's thuggish behaviour. John Fury's, is boorish, thuggish, unedifying, unpalatable, uncouth, vulgar behaviour. Absolutely. But what do you expect from John Fury?
Well,
John Fury's been in prison for gouging someone's eyes out. What did you expect him to do? Convert into a Samaritan? Is it a nice look? No. Was it a nice look over the years in boxing about so many things? This ridiculous sentimentalising of society and expecting everyone to behave in their best version of themselves.
Johnny Nelson gave a more balanced reaction to the airport drama and suggested that John Fury simply allowed emotions to completely take over in the moment. According to Nelson, John immediately realized things had gone too far after the confrontation exploded publicly, but by then the damage had already been done and the headlines were everywhere. Nelson also pointed out that pressure is now firmly on John Fury to control himself moving forward because every appearance around this fight will now be heavily scrutinized. At the same time, this situation has added another layer of pressure onto Tommy Fury as well, because many fans now expect him to back up all the Fury family talk with a dominant performance against Eddie Hall. Tommy appears calm publicly, but there is no doubt he now carries extra motivation to defend the Fury name after the airport incident became worldwide boxing news.
The pressure is now on John to behave himself. He's distracted a lot of attention and talk, and I'm quite sure someone will have a word with Matt. The authorities will have a word with
Wade Plemons absolutely ripped apart Eddie Hall's latest sparring footage and questioned whether the strongman is actually developing proper boxing skills at all ahead of facing Tommy Fury. The criticism sounded brutal because Wade openly admitted he could not understand what Eddie's training team were even trying to improve based on the footage released online. For Tommy Fury supporters, comments like these only strengthen the belief that Eddie is still relying purely on size and power rather than technical development. Tommy, on the other hand, has spent years around elite-level boxing camps and understands how to control distance, movement, and pace inside the ring. If Eddie truly looks this uncomfortable during sparring sessions, many fans believe Tommy Fury could end up making him look slow and reckless once the real fight begins under the bright lights.
The new sparring footage that I just saw is abysmal. I don't know what Eddie's been training. I don't know who has been training him. I know that he has been training, but my goodness, I don't know who with, what they're supposed to be working on, or why. But let me just show you what I mean. Eddie Hall, training footage and sparring footage just dropped, and it is...
Dave Allen reacted to the matchup with a mixture of amusement and curiosity, while pointing out just how bizarre this entire situation feels from the outside. Allen praised Eddie Hall's achievements as world's strongest man, but also hinted that the fight itself may be more about entertainment and massive money than genuine boxing rivalry. Even so, the airport confrontation with John Fury has clearly made things feel far more personal than many originally expected. Tommy Fury especially now seems emotionally invested in proving a point after Eddie repeatedly questioned the Fury family publicly. What started as a crossover spectacle is slowly turning into a genuine grudge fight with real tension surrounding it. Fans are no longer only discussing whether Tommy wins, they are now debating how brutally he might expose Eddie Hall once the action finally starts.
World's Strongest Man, amazing. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. He's fighting Tommy Fury. I thought they were mates. They probably are mates. They're probably making a fucking fortune as well.
Dave Allen reacted to the matchup with a mixture of amusement and curiosity, while pointing out just how bizarre this entire situation feels from the outside. Allen praised Eddie Hall's achievements as world's strongest man, but also hinted that the fight itself may be more about entertainment and massive money than genuine boxing rivalry. Even so, the airport confrontation with John Fury has clearly made things feel far more personal than many originally expected. Tommy Fury especially now seems emotionally invested in proving a point after Eddie repeatedly questioned the Fury family publicly. What started as a crossover spectacle is slowly turning into a genuine grudge fight with real tension surrounding it. Fans are no longer only discussing whether Tommy wins, they are now debating how brutally he might expose Eddie Hall once the action finally starts.
Of course I'll watch it. I like Tommy Fury a lot. I'm a Tommy Fury fan. Eddie Hall, I'm an Eddie Hall fan. I like the World's Strongest Man. A lot of respect for him. Of course I'll watch it. I'll watch it as it's a spectacle, in it. It's part of the new bit of circusry that's come into boxing. All these exhibitions, different people from different sports coming in. But for all intents and purposes, as a boxing match, what a load of bollocks. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't like it too much. But I'll watch it because it's like it's interesting in lots of ways, and I think people find it interesting.
Wade Plemons absolutely ripped apart Eddie Hall's latest sparring footage and questioned whether the strongman is actually developing proper boxing skills at all ahead of facing Tommy Fury. The criticism sounded brutal because Wade openly admitted he could not understand what Eddie's training team were even trying to improve based on the footage released online. For Tommy Fury supporters, comments like these only strengthen the belief that Eddie is still relying purely on size and power rather than technical development. Tommy, on the other hand, has spent years around elite-level boxing camps and understands how to control distance, movement, and pace inside the ring. If Eddie truly looks this uncomfortable during sparring sessions, many fans believe Tommy Fury could end up making him look slow and reckless once the real fight begins under the bright lights.